Alright, hey everyone. I am actually planning on doing some upgrades. I have, there are, GDOP just released some new parts. Well, not new, but some updated parts so that there's not as much work to be done on each of the shells whenever you get them. Basically, he's losing the O-ring, and there's kind of a redesign of that part, or of the shells, which means there's also a redesign for the new bolt. It's nothing too big, and it is compatible with the old shells. But in addition to this, he's also changed how the guide is attached. Before, he had like pins in here, which you would stick in to the side of the bolt, which wasn't a really good solution for me. Mine, every time I used the blaster, they would just kind of work itself free before. So hopefully with this new bolt to hold it in to the bolt head, it will fix that problem. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that change. There will now be an O-ring seated inside the tip here, so that so that you don't need the O-ring on the shell. So the O-ring will on the bolt will actually interface with this, and like I said, it is cross compatible with the old shells. And because of the redesign here, I believe there was a redesign with this. I'm not exactly sure. I think he tapered some stuff so that it would feed better. But yeah, we'll see how it works. But that means I'm gonna have to do a teardown of my sludge fire here. So yeah, I figure it is a good opportunity for me to work on that, or good opportunity for me to actually try an improvement that I've been wanting to make to the blaster, but that I couldn't justify just doing on its own because I didn't want to tear this down for no apparent or for no real reason. And now there's a nice upgrade that provides me with a reason to do this. So yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of be working on this for now. I do plan on doing a video of me building the blaster back up, like a true actual build guide for this. But I figured some people would want to see this just get torn down a bit, or get torn down. So, without further ado, hopefully, do I have two screwdrivers? I do. So, with how this is laid out, you have a screw on one end of the blaster and another over here. So, hopefully I'm in frame right there. But here, let me move this camera a bit. You probably get a nice crotch shot there. But yeah, so I've had this thing apart a few times, just kind of dealing with like jams and stuff like that, and figuring out how to undo that. So I've had mine apart quite a few times. Now, okay, so it's not primed, but I still have to deal with. Actually, let's get this out of here. I use this to attach it to my vest. Nice modified dog collar. Only picked it up because I kind of like the colors and they go with the blaster. So, but yeah, so when you're taking this apart, actually, I probably should take the stock off first. So I actually put a piece of foam on the ends so it wouldn't slide across my jacket, and then I kind of cut slots into the foam so that I could just insert a screwdriver and undo them here. Fortunately, I'm not sure they don't really come out now, which I mean really isn't a bad thing. But yeah, I just kind of have to guess when I'm done unscrewing them. I believe, if I remember right, it's held together by 4 bolts. I forget what size these are. I think they're 632s and they're 2 inches long. I believe there's only 2 bolt sizes on there. I forget. I think one of them is a 1/2 inch 632 and a 2 inch 632. I may be wrong, but if I remember right, it's been a while since I've actually done a complete teardown of this blaster, because I'm gonna have to actually remove some of the pins and whatnot to install them in the new door, the new or the shell exit, however you like to refer to that. Alright, so that's the stock. Now that gives me a little better access to these. Now you gotta remember, when you do this, even though it's not primed, this is still under pressure from the K26 in there. So it will want to pop off given the chance. See, you can already see it pushing off here. I'm gonna have to do a little leverage so that it doesn't just shoot parts everywhere. Now, is this gonna come off? Yeah, that'll come off there. I think I set it up so that I locked one side of the bolts. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've actually had it apart. But then, yeah, I'll push the whole end off here. And then here's your K26. Apparently there are mods out there right now for full-length K26 with beefed up spring rest. I don't know how much that actually works. One of the improvements I want to make has to do with the plunger tube, because right now if you've worked on one of these, you know that the plunger tube isn't the most efficient thing in the world. There's actually there's a bit of leaking on there. This whole part comes off like so, like yeah, and then your handle comes off, and then you have your trigger, your whole trigger mechanism and the flappy doodle. I need to learn the name of that thing. Now you'll see I have like these little posts in here. Those did not come with it. It looks like from an old design he may have been using, he may have changed the location of the guides for the bodies. And what I ended up doing is cutting some length of metal, or well, threaded rod, and basically I wrapped it in Teflon tape and then shoved them into the holes so that they'd fit there to help with alignment. I kind of did that wherever these holes were, because the alignment of this isn't the greatest sometimes. It'll want to twist. You'll be able to twist your blaster even when it's fully compressed down. So that's something I wanted to kind of mitigate a little bit. So alright, so alright, that's right. I gotta remember here. Now to get this body apart, you have to actually take this screw out here to release it from the pump, and then this whole thing the whole part here will slide right out. Yeah, also thinking about once I do building this back up. I will probably go through some of the things I've done to kind of improve the mechanisms a little bit. It may or may not be an issue for you guys with if you're building your own, but I did notice a few things that I tried to or that I kind of had issues with. Mostly it was that it works much better when it's broken in, obviously. And for instance, in particular, actually, is this the pusher for the shells, or I'll just call it the shell pusher. You want to like sand this down a bit. You don't want to take down. There's like a small lip right here. You don't want to take that off completely, but you do want to like just make sure your print is kind of cleaned up with a little bit of sandpaper, because what I found was happening with my print is that it would get caught on that little lip and it would not want to eject shells. So, and one of the big differences you'll notice right off the bat is when you shoot or fire your last shell, this will pop out all the way, and then it will block the flap right here from coming all the way down, which means it'll stop your bolt from slamming forward, or your bolt from firing, or being able to basically pull your bolt shut with the pump grip. So otherwise, all I did here was just sand this is just PVC. I just sand the bits off, or sand the graphic, or the text, the text that's written on there originally. So I'm not gonna bother taking those apart. When you do put this together the first time, though, when you screw these on, you'll want to make sure you don't screw them down all the way, and instead basically screw them equally from either end, because what ends up happening is, at least I noticed it at first, I don't know, but for me, the screws would not, or the threaded rod would not reach all the way to the other screws perfectly. So I found just screwing a little on each end would allow me to just basically center the rods in there. I don't know if I haven't had much of an issue after initial installation. I don't know if that's because the rods stretch something, or something, or it just breaks in a little bit more, but it was something I kind of noticed. Now you'll see this piece right here this is not part of any of GDOP's plans. This was actually made for me by Titan. So it's basically just a little muzzle piece. Doesn't really add. It has a little sight on it. It doesn't really add much, and it doesn't add any performance or anything besides just having a little sight. And I kind of like how it extends the little muzzle forward a little bit more. So it's more of an aesthetic thing, especially when you put the tack rail on, because it just gets lost. The iron sight gets lost in the tack rail. So there is that. And I'll put that aside. And I'm debating about whether I should completely disassemble it, or just kind of disassemble the more difficult parts for people. I don't know. Well, we will figure that out later. For now, I'm just going to break this down to get it ready to reassemble, basically. So, yeah, there's the muzzle. Alright, and I will actually just... Actually, these ones might be a different size now that I think about it. Yeah, these are what, inch and a half it looks like. I can't tell for sure without measuring them. So there are 3 screw sizes, as far as I remember now. Pretty sure these ones are 2 inches well. Another mod I would like to do is G-Dup actually released a new integrated grip with stock, or a grip that integrates with the stock. I forget, I think he calls it like the space something or other. But yeah, I'll probably just pull this whole thing apart right now. Bolts. Just try to keep this organized, because I will be putting this back together. Although I probably won't do that on stream, just because it'll probably take me a while to remember some of the parts, how some of the parts are organized. This is the trigger guide. Oh yeah, that's right, I crazy glued some of these in there. Yeah, I don't know if it's working right now or what's going on. But, yeah. Everything says I'm streaming, but I can't really tell. What happens if I... Yeah, it looks like I'm working now. For some reason my battery on my laptop wasn't charging. So I usually have it plugged in, and it is plugged in, and for some reason it just was not charging while I was doing this. So, all right. sorry about the delay here. I noticed I have a worn part, and I believe I have a replacement, so I'm just seeing if I can find that. If not, I might have to see if I'll get those printed. Seeing the replacement part. I'll have to look around with it before I record the new thing. But yeah, sorry about that before. Whatever reason, my laptop wasn't charging and it died on me. So now I actually Loctited these, and that's one thing I wish was redesigned. I don't know if he actually did that, but one of the issues I had was when you drop the bolts in here, they just have a tendency to spin because they aren't, the hold isn't enough. So you kind of have to wedge a little flathead or something in there to kind of hold it in place so you can actually unscrew this shit apart. And they're a little tight because I Loctited all that stuff, because that part has, it comes loose quite often. So I had to make sure, because if these bolts come loose and they stick out even a little bit, the blaster will jam with its breech open. And it took me a while to, that's part of the reason why I know how to take this apart and put it back together so well, is because I had to fix those things a couple of times before I just decided to Loctite them in place. Get in there. There we go. Yeah. I need to look at the print on the other one to see if he fixed that spinning bolt issue. Maybe they sit in there better now. Also probably have to procure some little bolts. Yeah, one of the things and here's the head. Oh, one of my little rubbery things came undone. Which means I will have to fix that as well. Great. Yeah, there's the rest of it. Frick. Well, luckily I'm taking this thing apart, huh? I'm surprised I didn't just shoot that out the front of the what's-its. But anyways, yeah, I'll just continue taking this apart. Those had to come out anyways, so. I believe I Loctited those in, like, I pretty much started Loctiting all these bolts back together. Just because, like, everything comes loose in this thing. So, yeah, I highly recommend if you get one of these to just go through and Loctite everything. Or pretty much all the bolts you know you're not going to be removing or you don't want to move. So anything part of the main mechanism. Yeah, there's actually 2 bolts inside of this that are a pain in the ass to get to. Especially if you're running into an issue like me at the moment where it does not want to let go of. I said it do for this right now. Huh. Well, that sucks. Did he redesign this part? I really hope he redesigned how the screws and stuff go in there. Okay, I think oh wait, that's right. I gotta undo these screws to get that part out. But yeah, my big issue with this is if you plug the hole and just blow in it. I mean, there's a seal there, but it's really not the best. Like it leaks out the side, so I wanted to see about fixing that a bit. Come on. Fortunately, the screws are all the way in the plunger head here, or the plunger tube. So it makes it really hard for them to get to them. There's one. And let's get the other one. Come on. Oh, that one's in there tight. Okay. There's the other one. This should allow me to drop the seal out. Where'd that come from? Where'd you come from? Oh wait, that's right. These are also unique bolts. How do I get those out? They do not want to... I can just feel them spinning in the tube there. I wonder if I can grab onto that. Oh, that might work. Does it give me enough leverage? Yeah, it did. Alright, so that one's loose. They're still trapped in there from the sticky little plunger pad. Alright, let's try something else with this one. I'm gonna have to straighten out that tube again. Motherfucker, you're being an ass. Come on, you bastard. Alright, so this is turning out to be the hardest part of this. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can't clamp this in. Give myself a little space there. Worst comes to worst, I might have to break the fucking print to get that out. I don't want to do that, because who knows when I might need that part to, you know, fix it on the fly. It's alright, I'm out of spray in my nose. to work in a clamp here. Basically, I'm going to try to get leverage on this. Basically, I have to get the screw to go cockeyed so that I can put leverage on the bolt so that it stays in place. Just barely hanging on there too, you little bastard. Little bastard. Now we'll push this out. That way I can get to that part. It does not give me any access there. Does it? No, not really. Oh! Yeah, the bolts on my plunger tube were actually drilled a little wide. So, that's part of my issue with this build, for one. Sorry about the birds in the background. I wonder if I can't figure out something to do there. But, yeah, so, wait, that's not, yeah, so this is the old design. This print's actually better than my original print. My friend's really kind of stepped up his printing game even within like a couple of months. Because this one's really clean. But yeah, this one actually, let's see if this one used pins to actually hold it together, which were not a very good solution because, like I said, they kind of would, if you didn't glue them in, they kind of just work themselves out. So you'd have to like get in there and try to push it back into place. So hopefully this redesign here, where he added the an actual bolt area, helps that, because that's a much better solution in general. Let's kind of look at this, compare these here. Yeah, there's like a, okay, so that'd be the redesign. There's a little lip here that's not on the original, and then there's a larger seating here so that you can attach an O-ring. As for the bottom, it looks like he did not fix that the size of those holes. It would have been nice had he made those a little smaller. How is that? What's this deal here? Well, there's a little difference here. I don't know if he has a different way that he's attaching this. How does that work? I'm wondering if I'm missing something here. Because that would go like that, but there's nothing holding it in place. I'll have to look at the designs. I might be missing a part here. So yeah. Yeah, something's off there. I don't quite get what's going on. I'll have to look over the plans before I start building this back up. this goes here. I don't think. But yeah, so something to. It's part of the reason why I wanted to do this, so I could figure out before I actually got down to tearing the whole thing down. This area is actually a pain in the ass to put together. It's probably this and the getting the flap to work correctly are probably the hardest part. I almost don't want to take them apart, but them's the brakes, I suppose. The trigger. The trigger seems kind of flimsy because of how it's just held in by a retention pin, but it actually works out pretty good. Let's see if this all matches up here. It doesn't look like there's any real changes. So, yeah, there's that. But, yeah, like I said, just kind of wanted to get this down so I could actually figure out what I'm working with here. I have to ask him about that. Whoop! I don't want to lose it. X. Can I even get... Okay, I can't get that pin back out. Do I have something that narrow? It's like a needle or something. Oh, safety pin. This might work. Yeah, because fortunately I don't have replacement hard. I don't have additional hardware, so I kind of have to reclaim everything from the original parts. That was in there with a spring. Couldn't remember. Yeah, there's a very small spring that nests in there. Yeah, the new one's actually a little bit longer to accommodate the the interface of the bolt actually is a little longer. Why? I don't get what this little spot is here. But yeah, I'm gonna have some cleaning of parts to do here because I haven't really done that at all with this. My little screwdriver. I'm sure this is terribly exciting. Hoping that's all comes out. Pretty sure that's supposed to come out there. Let's see if we got a cutter here. Oh, where are my X-Actos? Here's the thing, where are my actual blades? But yeah. Don't know what I did with my blades for this thing. So much for me keeping my shop organized from now on. I tossed it in with a bunch of other shit. no idea where they went. Well, maybe I can get by with this blade. I was hoping of having one with a point, but yeah. So I'm just kind of clean up these parts. And birds are wondering where I am right now. Even though they hate me when I'm around, when I'm not around, they want me around. Okay, so I do have to get that out of there, because that's blocking a hole for the spring. Now I'm just curious. Did you just completely redo? Maybe that. And this stuff himself, like the springs and everything by himself. Oh fuck. There it is. Is that all open? Really? It can't be how he has it. It seems so bad. You have to look around and see. That's really how that's supposed to be. That rhymed. Maybe that is. Maybe you wanted to make it easier to put it together? Is it easier? I don't know, but it is. Seems to be definitely more wiggly. Well, I'll just leave that like that so I know where that part is at least. I'm not sure how I'm going to reattach these. I wonder if E6000 will do it. Yeah, because both the frickin' paddings came off. Or the sticky part. I mean, they're probably not supposed to come apart. Yeah, I also had to, when I was putting this together originally, I also had to cut these down so that they would fit a little better. Because the way he had them cut, where they both got in the way of the screws that hold this in, as well as block the air hole in the middle. So, or the, I don't know, I'll just keep on referring to it as air hole. An air hole. Now I'm just kind of cleaning this shit off. So I'm going to have to re-lube this all anyways. Also, I may have to pick up another screw once I figure out if... Yeah, because if you look in there, when I try to unscrew this, it just spins because the hole's too big. I don't know why he didn't redesign that while he was at changing the whole bolt design. Makes it a massive pain in the ass to take it back apart. Alright, so that's the old bolt. That will go into a bin. This is the old receiver. That's what I'll call a bolt receiver. I don't know. That'll go into a replacement bin. I'm half tempted. I think I have another one of these. I'm half tempted to use the other print because it's better. Which means I'd have to knock out that pin. Kind of wish that there's just a few. There's nitpicks I have here and there about how this thing was you construct this thing. I can hear birds in my roof. They better not get into the walls again. Yeah, a couple of years ago, I actually got birds that went into my walls. I actually had to put a hole in a wall to get 2 baby birds out. That was enjoyable. I still have not fixed those. I just put a bookshelf in front of it. Probably need some rubbing alcohol to clean those up. And then try to find the strongest glue I have that'll work on rubber like that. There's 2 powdered donuts left. It's been my favorite snack lately. I wonder if I put them. You know what? I think I might know where those parts are. I think they might have fallen out of a box into the bottom of another box. think I know which box. Alright, pusher. I don't know how to close up these holes a little bit. I'd like to do that so that they don't come out. I have to think about that. That is like I have no room to work with on that. Yeah, it just like barely holds in there, but if you twist it just a little bit, you can just pop it right through the side. So alright, plunger tube. Plunger. New thinger. Plunger padding. Right now I'm just organizing my parts. Oh, so it looks like there's a few sizes. I don't remember there being so many sizes of what's it, so it's gonna bug me. But yeah, like I said, I'll be doing a proper video of building this blaster, which is why I need to take it all apart so I can upgrade the new parts in it. I haven't really done any commissions. Really kind of depends on what you're interested in. Like at the moment, I'm mostly just kind of doing builds. I haven't really done any cosmetic stuff per se. I've kind of painted up a few blasters, but you know, it's not a big part of the thing. But yeah, like I said, it depends on what you're looking for. Sorry if I missed you at all, or missed you if you took off or whatever. I didn't have my chat up. I just noticed it now, so. Alright. Basically, most people have been asking me about the Chronos build that Drax showed off, and I'm not actually gonna do any commissions on that because we're still working on a proper 3D printed kit for it. So yeah, I'm not taking that I'm not taking this part apart. I will just show it off as is. Because it is kind of a pain in the ass, but maybe I should because it is a pain in the ass. I haven't done a whole lot of integrations. Like, about the only one I mean, honestly, this the Demolisher Hyperfire is so far the first like true integration that I've done, and I have not finished it. Mostly I've just been doing like mechanical builds, like just basically upgrading strifes and stuff like that, and a couple of oddball projects here and there, like the the sledgehammer mod and the Kronos Spring Thunder mod. I mean, I'm not to say that I wouldn't, but it kind of depends, honestly. Plus, I mean, I do have a couple of strifes. Kind of need an idea of what you kind of wanted. Because right now I just kind of been doing, there it is, doing oddball builds, just because no one else is, I mean, outside of like Clowny and stuff like that, everyone's kind of doing typical builds. I'm kind of more interested in like kind of unique things, like like my short dart strife and a couple other stuff. And like I said, I'm at the moment I've mostly just done performance mods, so but oh, I'm not lucky. I just had money at the time. I've I had money for the kit, or for the metal kit, and I have a friend with a 3D printer, and I got gift certificates for Amazon for Christmas, which meant I was able to buy a bunch of filament. It's a fun blaster. I enjoy it. Some people think it's kind of a kitschy blaster. I tend to think that as well. It's not good for Oh, Jesus. That was bent. Huh. That could be. I might have to check that out. It looks a little better now. And metal gets pretty thin right there, so it's really weak. I wonder if I can find someone to temper this. I'll have to look into that. See if I can find anyone who knows how to temper steel. Just because, yeah, I don't think this is tempered steel. I don't know. I'll take that apart later. I just don't want to take that apart and then forget how the thing goes back together there. Alright, those have to come off. How do I get to that? I think I can just push it through here. Trying to remember how this comes up. Oh, there it is. Like, I know there's a way to get to the pin. Yeah, thank God he actually left you with ways to get to the pins. Well, they're not easy. Certainly not easy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot of buying of stuff since Christmas because of I've been on layoff from my job a lot, so like this week I've worked 2 days. Next week they don't have me scheduled at all, and yeah, that's starting to wear on me, like financially, because I have student loans and crap I have to pay for yet, and that shit ain't cheap. Student loans, rent, medical bills, all that kind of fun shit. So yeah, I've also kind of tapered down on what I'm buying, like Nerf wise. There it is. Almost. Yeah, when I go to the thrift stores, pretty much all I pick up now are just basically like either things that are unique or stuff I know I can do something with, like rapid strike, strifes, or strife-like blasters. Yeah, this piece needs to be replaced. I think I have a replacement. I need to find it though. Either that, or I could probably just ask my friend. It'd probably take all of like a half an hour to print both of these. Are they identical or are they mirrored? They're mirrored. Yeah, I can ask him to print those for me. I had a feeling these would be parts that you'd need to replace every once in a while. Yeah, like I said, I'm not completely opposed if you have an idea of what you're looking for. I just don't have the time to like I don't know. I have time to do it right now, but or to do commissions, but I just technique wise, I'm just not sure if I'm to the point where I can do like Firefly integrations and stuff like that, because those are pretty involved from what I've seen, and I'd rather not get into those until I'm more comfortable in actually integrating things. That's kind of why I started the Demolisher Hyperfire. And as for the other thing is, like, if you want particular blasters, you might have to supply them. I do have extra strifes, but like if you're looking for like a Raven, I only have one of those, and it was a Christmas gift, so I don't particularly want to cut it apart. Like something basic like that I can probably do. There's enough I've seen enough of them to kind of know how they work or how to assemble them. I'll just leave that as is. I don't need to take that apart. That's the new one. I need to do some cleaning on this part. But yeah, this is actually one of the first 3D blasters I saw that I'm like, I gotta get me one of them. I mean, it's functionally a very interesting blaster. It's a nice piece of engineering. Any gripes I have about it are just about things that, basically little things. Like stuff I wish he could fix somehow. That print part right there, that kind of weird. And it's not that good on this one either. Smaller. There's some awkward spots in here. Trying to get some of these parts to work, feed through correctly, are odd. That one's clear, that one's plugged up yet. There we go. That looks cleaned. So this is the old part. So pull the rail off of this one. I also need to check to see what kind of bolt I need for him. I wonder if just one of these will work. Or if I'm going to have to go buy 1/4 inch bolts for this. Yeah, it looks like I might have to go and buy 1/4 inch bolts. So I think these are 1/2 inch. Yeah, I think those are 1/2 inch. I think he said he threaded these in the new design. Or you can tap into them. Doesn't seem to be the case. This is the new one, right? Oh wait, no, that is not the new one. This must be the new one. Yeah, the new Spring Thunder, you can actually tap these right into the body of the thing instead of having to put these bolts all along the inside, which is a fucking pain in the ass, and half the time they came off. For a while there, I had a couple bolts rattling in the stock of my blaster just because I didn't want to deal with them until it jammed. And then I had to take it apart and shake them out. Just get some wear on it too. Alright, so these get put away. Just need to get rid of some of this stuff so that I don't have to deal with it later. Oh, great. How do I have this together? Yeah, I also used the Picatinny to bridge the gap between the shells to help also try to help with the alignment of the shell, because it was a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna have to hit up the hardware store for a small thing of 1/4 inch 632s. All sorts of worn plastic in there. Also, since I have this together, I kind of wanted to clean this. You know, the grime from my hand got into this little decorative shit. Because I never actually sanded that, which I probably should have. I don't think I have a file small. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're big enough. I'm kind of wondering if Drax's going to show the other video of my other blaster. Maybe I'll just be seeing that tomorrow at some point. Like, I'm wondering if he's just like kind of letting those out a bit at a time, because I believe he made 3 videos. But yeah, yeah, it's a fun blaster. It's not the most efficient thing. I see a lot of people trying to get like high FPS out of them. Like someone built a sniper barrel for it, and I don't know. I don't really see the point of it. It kind of takes away the whole appeal of the blaster. I mean, if you want a 100 FPS plus blaster, I mean, there's already better things out there, like Caliburns and whatnot. Although the Esper is another 3D printed blaster I'd kind of like. That thing's kind of sexy. We'll put that in there. I got a bunch of extra 3D printed parts now. Alright, we'll leave that part together. Like that way I can just take those apart and kind of show. Actually, I'll probably just show them off as is on stream, or on the camera when I work on them. Just because this part especially is kind of a pain in the ass to get in. Because you kind of have to like get the bar, get the little spring to go underneath this part, and then back inside of it, you have to twist it back around inside of the shell. So it's kind of a pain in the ass the first time if you haven't done it, and I don't really want to relive it again. Thing is, like, before it extended like maybe a ½ inch or so past here, but those pieces of metal kept on like getting flipped inside out until they broke off in the blaster. Luckily, they didn't break. They broke off right before the end of this. Or right after the end of it, so that it still works, and now it actually seems to work pretty good. That's the other reason I want to screw around with that part too much. want to go over that lighter with a finer grit to kind of round it out a little bit more, so not as much dirt gets built up into the. So what's happening is the grime from my hands when I'm playing gets built up in the grain of the 3D print. So let me just make a note here. I need a 1/4 inch, 6/32 or 6/32. That way I can run out and pick that up. Yeah, I'll take this apart and kind of show it, kind of deal with it on camera. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not as much wear. What seems to take the most wear are the little locks. These are the things that allow the shell to eject out. Otherwise, they hold it in place until you prime it back, and then they kind of flip out, and then the shell shoots past them. But one of them, especially this one, has really been eating away at. So that's good to know. I probably could get away with using it for a little while longer the way it is. And what are you from? Where do you come from, Tiny Screw or Tiny Spring? Are you the other side? You must be the other side of this one. Oh, baby Spring. There you go. You stay there. Because I don't want to lose you. There's pretty much no way I could replace that without actually going to GDOP. Put that back in there so I have all my guides back in. These pieces I'll deal with on camera. That. Oh, I probably shouldn't have that sitting right next to the hot vent on there. This is the new one. This is the new one. Those are there. Yeah, I'll probably be filming this shit later, so I just kind of want to get it organized. But yeah, I'm probably getting kind of to the end of this stream for now. Like I said, I want to work on a video for this, because I don't really think anyone's done a build guide for this at all. Everyone's kind of had to do what I did the first time. It probably took me close to 4 hours to get this thing together the first time I did it, because I had zero clue where everything went. I need to make sure I go. That goes on the right side. I have my silver Sharpie. Yes. I believe that's the left. Just gonna mark that with an L. Gonna put a little B on that or a little H on that box for hornets. I think that's what he said, or is it B on that box for bees? Slap a little H on that. And anyways, yeah. So Chris, if you're still there, thank you for watching. Like I said, this is just kind of a short stream. I just thought someone might be interested in watching me dick around with this thing for a while. Like I said, I will be doing a video about this. very soon. Like I said, I'm hoping to actually work on this tonight, get all the assembly done. Otherwise, yeah. God, this is such a heavy part. I'm surprised they had to beef it up even more. You can see my K26 has gotten a little warped in the middle. Alright. And then this doesn't need to come apart because that's pretty much pretty easy how that one to figure that part out. That's probably the easiest part of the blaster is the actual front part, because as long as you line up Spring Thunder, you're pretty good. Alright, man. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Expect a video about this shortly. I mean, I'll be sure to go more into detail on how to assemble. Like, some of the, like, the hardest parts are basically putting all these flappies in and getting the spring correct on that. So, otherwise, it's a fairly straightforward blaster. So, I mean, once you kind of, at least for me now that I've done this a couple of times. But, alright, well, you have a good day, and thank